Hey, RG, how's it going?
All right, welcome, PK. You have already elevated our game to like the nth level. I was just sitting here backstage jamming to like some intro music that you've got pumping through the green room. There's like a graphic with this awesome picture of you and me. You gave the episode a title. You sent me like production notes for how to get this thing off the ground today. And I feel like yesterday I was just like feebly monkey tinkering on Zoom, and today you have me in this like immersive studio experience, and I already feel like a rock star, darling.
You are a
So
rock star, yes.
thank you for jumping on live with me today. It's day 21 of me having a weekly live show, and I absolutely need your help. There are few people in this world that um I would make absolute resolute that I would not march forward without talking to you, and you or that. Welcome to Stone Fruit Roll.Up, Paul King and King Productions, my like affectionately known work husband and colleague of like 7 years, maybe, I'm
Yeah,
guessing. What do you
yeah,
think?
7 good years, that's for
Do you
sure.
remember the first time we saw each other from across a crowded room?
No, I don't. Do you?
I'm trying to pinpoint it earlier, actually. The earliest memory I have of you, like, blink, blink, open my eyes, and there's like the coolest cat to really walk alongside me on this entrepreneurial journey. And it was, were you not at that like Washington Post press like presentation that had like the AARP doing a thing
Yes.
about how I have never forgotten that presentation.
Yeah, that was a cool day.
Do you remember when the AARP came and showed how they market their like membership expansion and brand awareness by producing a television show that just features retirees living these like action packed, and there was like a pilot and like some other adventure guy, and just showing retirees living their best life, and
Mm,
that was the marketing campaign. I was blown away.
yeah.
That was a cool event, and ever since then you and I have kind of come up together, as they say, in the entrepreneurial arena, and you are one of the coolest people I've ever met. So thanks for being a part of what we're building here today, and
Absolutely.
all days. I really wanted to have you on board today because when I told you I was kind of thinking about doing a live show, you had like a relentless amount of questions, and I could
Yes.
answer none of them. And so I'm coming to you for like help and support. My goal with this kind of like ramp up to the show of like just being like day 21 of having a live show is that anybody else who just decides to jump out of the basket of safety and security, for me that was writing blog posts and think pieces, and do something totally out of their element and do something completely new that I knew nothing about. So why not make it live into the world? So I don't know if this is your first time ever. I don't know what I'm doing interview, but we're here.
Certainly my first ever live don't know what you're doing interview. So quite interesting, but I'm happy to peel back the curtain and give the viewers an inside look at what happens on a private Zoom chat where we'd be talking about the same exact things. Why not open it up and bring people along the journey with us, right?
Why not? So I thought I would kind of get into the weeds with you with some of the early I don't know what I'm doing moments, and then kind of at the halfway point, this is an hour long show, kind of at the halfway point we could pivot perhaps to my favorite topic, which is kind of entrepreneurial real talk, like you and I sitting out behind the restaurant dumpsters after our shift, like smoking our filterless cigarettes and talking about the day that we had before. I'd love to know where you're at in your like, how's your business going? What's the thing you're like so excited about right now, whether it's in your industry, innovation, or something new you're bringing to the table? And
Yeah.
then really love to talk to you about this thing that you've affectionately called the teeter-totter of client acquisition and marketing, which has
Absolutely.
got me like thunderstruck with a concept.
Hmm.
Let's get into it. Jilly is saying hi in the concept in the comments. So across the pond, hi to Jilly and to also to Tony, who said that was really some epically solid hold and waiting room music. You've got the audiophile podcast host, co-host, and podcast producer enchanted with your weight room music. So go PK. All right, Doug. Help me get better at this, man. First of all, I think the greatest crux that I'm dealing with is like I don't even know where to live in terms of a platform. I mentioned last week with Julie that I was just kind of shocked to learn that you actually have to have a application in order to go live. I thought I would just have to schedule that, and that actually wasn't the case. I had to do a lot more than just schedule it. So, by the kindness of Taylor, who let me couch surf on her Zoom platform, and the kindness of Jilly, who let me couch surf on Riverside, and you're letting me couch here, surf here on Restream. Like, what should I be doing in terms of having some kind of platform, like technology that actually allows me to do this? And like you're doing the thing, there's a graphic, you've got our name down here, you have the whole room, wait music. Like in order to make this, not a show that makes me want to stab a pencil in my neck technologically, where should we be with like the platform we're on? What is it even? What's it all about? Why do we even need one? Why can't we just click go live on YouTube and be like, ting?
Yeah. The way I like to look at this is it's kind of like you go to Best Buy, and at Best Buy, you're walking through the aisles and you've got a shelf and you see like the most basic point and shoot camera. Then the shelf above that, usually it's going to be a higher price camera. It's kind of like the prosumer level. Then they don't even have the professional high end cameras in the store. Like you got to go find them. You have to know somebody who knows somebody or know the shops to go to. That is how we can look at the live stream software. So totally dependent on your budget and the bells and whistles that you want. So is there a budget that you're working with? Or are we going free 99 route?
I mean, I look, free 99 is always worth what you pay for it. In my
Mhm.
opinion, it's very rare. I would say maybe shout out to Asana for having a decent, like, free version that people
Yeah.
can actually work in and use. But if I come to you now, I'm like, well, this show just kind of came out of nowhere, and is there a budget? Not really. And I'm just inviting my friends, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I hope you're going to help me get there, which you did. Thank you. I also know that I will pay for that on the back end if I'm cheap as shit in the beginning with the software, and then I spend hours trying to configure it, get other people invited, it doesn't work, the upgrades are broken or any of that stuff. That's a pound of flesh versus a pound of cure, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
So the way I look at it, going back to my analogy, is Zoom. Most people have Zoom, and you can go live to YouTube for free with Zoom. So
I
that's
was
kind of
able to
what,
find that feature, PK. Like
yeah,
Taylor had to take it over. Like she rescued me. I was ready to
yeah,
quit on day
came
one.
came to the rescue.
Yeah.
That would be the lowest barrier to entry and simplest. And there are absolutely no bells and whistles. You just go live, and it's within the Zoom platform, and you're kind of locked in with the side by side grid or the active speaker grid. The next step up would be something like Restream or StreamYard, and it's really reasonably priced. Restream you can get for as low as $16 a month. You can buy it annually. I think it's $190 for the whole year. So if you like what you see here, this is Restream. It's super easy to use. The user face is very intuitive. So if you're watching this, you can actually scan the QR code and it will kick you over to the Restream website if you wanted to check out more information.
Oh
Just a
my,
neat feature of Restream.
that's kind of all kinds of awesome. Most podcast people that I interact with when I'm guesting or whatever are on Riverside. What's the like pros and cons? And then, our boy Ross Brand, who's like the live streaming king, who I hope will grace us
Yeah.
with his presence on this show one day, is StreamYard happy. So kind of like, what is, without getting too deep in the weeds or something you could look up on a HubSpot article, but like for you personally, why are you advocating for Restream, or what is maybe the pros and cons of the other guys? And if you were me, what would you do?
Yeah.
Because that's the real question. If you were me, what would you do?
Yeah. Truthfully, it's been a while since I've played around with any of the StreamYard stuff. When StreamYard first came out, it was real basic and there wasn't a lot of tweaking that you can do to kind of make it your own. And that's where I felt Restream at the time was a couple of steps ahead. They might be the same now, but Restream also allows you to go to multiple platforms simultaneously. So right now,
that was really cool.
yeah, we're live on your LinkedIn channel, we're live on your YouTube channel, we're live on my Facebook channel, all right now at the same time.
That's amazing. I tried to go live with a Stone Fruit business page and it gave me a big decline. What's that about?
You just tried to go live?
Well, when we were in the pre-production, jam, and I'm kind of like hooking us all up, I tried to go live on the LinkedIn Stone Fruit business page run by the wonderful Becky, who's really knocking it out of the park with that content. And it gave me a big X and said I wasn't allowed to go live. Does a business page have to have a certain amount of followers, or like why was I gate kept out of that in terms of just, what's the deal, PK?
Did you forget your password again?
Oh my God, I'm guilty as charged. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna give you my password strategy live. That would be
Let's not do that.
Not very. See, I forgot we weren't in the Zoom room.
You do need to give Facebook access to Restream. It has to be
LinkedIn is what I'm asking about.
Oh, LinkedIn page.
A business page, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Don't know why we can't go to a LinkedIn page. That's interesting. But what I did notice is when you came into the green room, you're like, oh, cool, I could add my YouTube. But we already had a YouTube scheduled for Stone Fruit. So you went in and added it again. So we had 2 YouTube lives going. So a neat feature. Go ahead. I'm excited.
Well, what's the lesson there?
I was kicking myself off screen, so I'd stop talking for a minute. The reason that happens is it's a neat feature of Restream where your guests can come on and they can add destinations. So, for example, if we brought on, if you bring on a guest in the future and they have their own YouTube page or Facebook page, they can add those destinations once they come into the green room. So you are able to double, quadruple, triple the size of your viewership by having your guests and giving them access to adding in those destinations on Restream.
That is awesome, man. Sorry I duplicated the work, dog.
That's all right.
I don't know. Sometimes I panic and I just start being like, what levers, what goes through my mind, and I'm sure anybody who started a project for the first time is like, what levers am I not pulling that later I'm going to facepalm myself about? So it's kind of like, the lights are coming up for service in the restaurant and you're like, oh my God, where's my apron and wine key? Like, I have no idea. So I kind of panicked. I think maybe for you, and I've seen you do it, just onboarding me onto my own show, frankly, has been around like excellent communication, like technical kind of step-by-step know-how, and coaching the guest through the experience. Do you always do that, or am I just like a special friend? Okay.
Do I always walk a guest through the onboarding steps that we went through?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that is a critical component. And I wanted you to see how I did it so that you could copy and paste and add it to your swipe file. So feel free to use
do as I do, and also as I do.
Yeah.
Nod, wink, wink.
It is so much less stressful when you have a guest that comes and they are wearing headphones, they have a mic, they've tested their internet speed, their light isn't shitty because they maybe read your pre-production, pre-show message that you send them. And for me, that little 5 minutes on my time to have the guest experience feel a little more VIP, and look a little bit better, more importantly, sound better, I'm going to do that all day, every day.
Well, that's why you have this like amazing guy next door persona that people absolutely love to work with. And one of the things I admire about you as an entrepreneur, PK, is that you really bring that personality to the way that you deliver service.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
like, what you see is what you get, and it's delicious. You're like the Walker shortbread cookie that you never knew you wanted, like just buttery, flaky goodness melting on the tongue. The way that you just conduct yourself and your bedside manner. Do you have, at this moment in your time, now I'm just leading curiosity, do you have anyone on your team that is client facing that you had to do any kind of like training or culture onboarding to continue this kind of like the world's like greatest, butter cookie guy next door persona that you just naturally exude?
That's an interesting way to ask the question. I don't have anyone on my team per se, but I do have people that I will pull together for a team on projects. But I haven't done any specific training with them in terms of client facing. This is what we do. This is what we wear. This is how we act. It's more so getting to know them on a personal level before inviting them to a production and just getting a better sense of how they are, how they interact with people. Do they kind of do things the King Productions way, just naturally? And if they do, they're probably a good fit to work with me on a creative project. And knock on wood, up to this point, everyone that I've collaborated with has been a gem to work with. So I hope that stays true for a long time coming.
Water seeks its own level. You lead by example, but I cannot tell you how thrilled I am that you brought up the King Productions way, because boom, baby, we're in brand. If
Mm-hmm.
brand is your reputation brought to life in words, actions, and images, that's how I like to think of it, then how do you like act in the King Productions way, in full cognizance of that's how you're communicating and reinforcing your brand, both to like prospects, clients, like the people you're working with across a referral stream. Like, this is the King Productions way. We really are talking about brand. How do you navigate that in your day-to-day operations to bring that to life?
Yeah, a lot of it goes back to core values for King Productions that I've crafted over the last several years. And a lot of that comes down to being authentic and treating others how you want to be treated. Transparency is a big core value at King Productions. And I think a big one is doing what you say you will do. I think oftentimes
Oh
when,
my God, follow up and follow through.
yeah, that's a big
Like,
one for me.
honestly, it is what gets business. Frankly, like, you can have the sexiest brand, the coolest website, the hottest green room, the newest software, the best product, but it's people who are showing up, consistently showing up. I think that really the win the race, as they say. Not that it is a race, and I hate thinking about business as like a linear, competition of like hyper individualism. I really like to think of it as like we're all in the ecosystem together. You've really brought, I think, that brand to life, and you do it by example, which is really cool. So it's one
Thank
of the
you.
reasons I love collaborating with you, because like the integrity of like your interaction with your clients is like so flawless. I always learn something when I'm on set. I mean, asking the questions behind the camera to like the
Mhm.
people that you're interviewing and trying to like get to that real story within your medium, and thinking about all of that as like deep personal kind of human experience and interaction.
Yeah.
It does need to be handled with care and with a safe space. What would it be like if you were like really super high energy and frenetic? Do you think people would be like, that was really fun but exhausting? Because they really do have to be in a place of like caretaking for themselves to answer your questions in the way that you're positing them to create a video experience.
It depends on the type of project. There are live shows I've done in the past where I tell the client ahead of time, hey, it's going to feel like a major adrenaline rush throughout the live production. At the end of the day, we're going to have a massive crash, and it's going to be exhausting both mentally and physically. So it depends on the production. If it's an intimate sit down interview, yeah, we want to be calm. We want them to feel welcome and be able to open up, and we're just having a conversation. Let's just chat. And the live productions, it's things go wrong. It can get stressful. This live production stuff isn't as stressful as something like we're going live at
An event.
an event, yes, which you've
A
been a part
mo-
of.
I
Yes,
have been. Yeah, man, that was so cool. The
yeah,
energy is real.
it is.
And,
Yeah,
and everybody remembers that. I think that's the beauty of your work in terms of like just organizational marketing or brand awareness, or any of the things we're actually trying to do out here to make an impact and be remembered. Like it will be decades before I forget working on Bread for the City stuff with you, and really seeing that community come together. And so live seems to make, and video seems to make such a lasting impression on everyone involved in the process. Is that why you fell in love with it?
sort of. I mean, I fell in love with video because it's an extremely powerful way to evoke emotions. And if you're able to evoke emotions, those emotions will drive action. And for me, there's nothing more powerful than that.
Why do
Evoke
you
emotions.
care about why do you care about action? Why does that matter to you?
It matters to me for the client. I mean, every piece of content that I produce for a client, I want there to be significant call to action. There's one key takeaway from any piece of content that I help create. And if a viewer watches it and they don't feel a certain way because it hasn't evoked any emotion, they're not going to take any action. Whether that's as simple as like, hey, I'm going to go follow this content creator or brand, or even more, hey, I want to go buy something from this brand because that was a cool as shit video. And man, I feel great. I just want to go buy this product now.
Oh my God, tell me how to do that. How do I do that in this show? I'm
Yeah.
asking for real.
Okay. Okay. I think off the top here, any piece of content should be educational, it should be informative, or it should be fun. So there's kind of three categories.
What about inspiring? Where does that fall?
That's in there for sure.
Okay. Is that educational?
I think it's one or the other. And there are times where it can be a combination of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, as you're thinking of topics or guests to have, portion of the show is going to be a little educational today. Then we're going to talk about some informational stuff. Some of this.
Although, I'm just getting
inspiring.
into it like it's a soup.
Yeah.
I'm just following my curiosity
Yeah.
down every rabbit hole. And I hope that it comes off as a cohesive and connected conversation that people are learned and inspired and had fun.
Yes.
My
This is
hope.
all part of going live.
Okay.
And I think another aspect of that too, Rebecca, is repurposing the content. So you've got this hour-long show. Most times, we're not going to have viewers stick around for the whole thing. Like, it looks like we have less than 10 viewers live right now.
I mean, first of all, that's awesome.
Hey,
that is awesome, actually. I'm really kind of jazzed about it.
Good.
So I'm here for those 10.
Yeah. But the neat thing with Restream, for example, is on the version of Restream that I have, it automatically records your video feed, your audio feed, my video feed, and my audio feed. So you can turn that into an audio-only podcast for distribution on wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can take the video clips and you can hire an editor, wink, wink, and they can cut that into snack size content that you can put on your social channels that are educational, inspirational, entertaining.
Kathleen says she's jazzed. So I feel like
Awesome.
we're nailing it here. You're going into this piece of like how to make content work for you that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and it's writing or doing the big thing first and then breaking it up instead of doing the little things first and then trying to amalgamate them together. I am such a fan of like writing in terms of just written content because words are my medium,
Mhm.
to write the 2,500 word think piece first, write the book first, then go back and break it up into these like little repurposable. You can keep micro, kind of repurposing content all the way from 2,500 word article then becomes 4 blog posts, which then become 3 long form, or like I don't, the numbers are not making sense because I'm too excited, but then becomes all these micro posts, and then becomes all these like snippets, and then becomes all these taglines over time, and then you have this like fruit basket of content that came from like one iteration instead of trying to reverse, to kind of build it from all these like little Cheez-Its. You've got I always have to have a food analogy. You got the whole pretzel already ready to go rather than kind of breaking it up. So I'm like such a fan of content first. And that's why I'm in love with live. Exactly like you said, you record it one time, it's like done. You can't obsess over the scripting or the cuts or whatever. You just do it, and it's like as close to authentic as you can get, and then you can repurpose it. And the thing that you said that was music to my ears was about the separate like channeling of the audio, which I'm supposing that like the bottom of the barrel Zoom go live option we talked about at the top of the show
Mhm.
would not give you the quality of sound files that I would need to like give Tony the sound files to make a podcast, give you the video files, and then the sound files, of course, like, or whatever you need to get your stuff done to make the video portion of just this one content capture that we're doing, in real time. So that's music to my heart for sure.
Yeah, I think one comment on that. I don't want to dig Zoom too bad. I mean, you could get away with taking the Zoom audio files and giving them to someone like Tony who could clean them up. I mean, he's a true pro. He's going to make anything kind of shitty sound really good. So I think the quality that you get from the audio files on Restream is not going to be substantially greater than you would at Zoom. And I think that is one advantage of something like Riverside or Squadcast. They really focus on the audio portion.
Oh, that's
So
kind of a game changer,
yeah.
PK, actually.
So
Oh,
this is where we want to put our cart before the horse. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. We're putting the cart ahead of the horse because the horse is the means of getting somewhere. So our horse is Restream, Riverside, Zoom, Squadcast. But our cart is what are the goods we're carrying in that cart and what is most important. So do we want the audio files to be super crisp? Is that the most important thing? Or are we hauling around a badass video in the cart?
why?
What's more
Why?
important to you in the show?
Oh, I want them both.
Yeah, then that's when I go to something like Restream.
Oh, okay.
So you can
So,
do
like,
both.
these are like Canva and Photoshop, or is that too crazy of a analogy?
Restream is like, yeah, I mean, Restream would be the Canva, and we haven't mentioned any software that'd be the Photoshop. Photoshop is like, you know what you're doing. There's a ton of bells and whistles, like too many. It's overwhelming. If you're a graphic designer, you're using that because you know how to use it.
Right.
Canva, you can go in there and you can slap some stuff together.
That is a whole new way of thinking about it, and I think that really opened up at least my understanding, because before it was just like kind of software names that I was trying to keep straight in my head, and now I understand the functionality of it. I
Yeah.
also didn't, since we were kind of talking about audio quality and Tony and being a pro, etc. I didn't want to ignore his comment that when he's getting people ready for recording, he has a PSA, in his own words, copy and paste, ready to explain like all of the the headphone necessarily, the mic and all the things, because I know it's a constant battle when it's an element you can't control. And then also, here's an adorable comment that is, longtime listener, first time caller. What thoughts and conversations have you been having on the subject and development of AI, Chat GPT, etc.? Bing's AI chatbot as it pertains to the knowledge work each of you do, video copywriting, brand centered stuff. Oh my God, everyone is talking about AI. Paul, PK, do you want to get into AI at all?
Yeah, I'm fucking juiced.
Yeah.
We're gonna get flagged on YouTube now for dropping the F bomb. My apologies, but I'm fucking juiced.
Dude, okay, number one, that's really pertinent information to me to know about this show, that you cannot say that word. I mean, for
It could
real.
get flagged for sensitive content, or explicit, which, hey, we're being ourselves, which is why we're here.
Yeah.
But how in the weeds do we want to get about Chat GPT? Because I don't think your show's there yet. Like, I think we are at the infant stages of your show. Chat GPT is like some advanced.
It's some advanced shit.
Yeah, so I say
I'm
we
getting
table
worse.
that. I say we table it.
Okay, well, listen, we have some interest because JC says she loves this question and has been considering Speechly for some time for video and voiceover videos situations. Shout out to JC, who I've been working with longer than you, PK, for sure. So let's make sure. You know what this tells me? We need to have you another date further in the future, in which this is the kind of thing that we're gonna talk about for there. I guess my other like technical questions, while I still have you now, we've talked about platform. Like I told you when we kind of had our brief check-in earlier this week, you are the third person to make a comment about my lighting. So right now I have another lamp here. It feels like it's washing me out to the surface of the sun. Is that what you're reading? Is this better? Is that helpful? I see my swell is in the camera. How's the lighting? What about this background? How's the sound going? Like, how am I doing on this, PK? Like, help a girl out.
Before we jump into how your image looks, Tony mentioned Descript to JC.
Yeah.
Descript is worth its weight in gold. It's 15, 20 bucks a month. It is absolutely incredible. I use it for podcasts. I use it for video editing. There are a ton of neat features with Descript. So just go check it out. Google Descript. But to your image, the thing that drives me crazy.
Is it the lamp or is it John Waters? I lost you.
I can't talk when you're full screen, but I want to take you full screen to show you. Your camera, for whatever reason, there's some flickering in the light. So it goes really bright in your face. You look like a ghost, like you're almost fully blown out.
Yeah.
And there are times where it's perfect.
Like this?
Yeah. Oh, that drives me bonkers.
Yeah. To versus this. So what I have is a side lamp here because you, Tony, and Taylor all said your lights. Okay. Also, the other thing about my camera, and I'll turn it off. Now it's like have to whatever. The other thing about my camera is it slowly pulls and migrates relentlessly on the little thing. So I have literally moved over like 3 feet since we've had, and I'm trying to do it subtly and like not shake the desk, which is not my forte. So now this is just with the ring light now.
So your camera is literally being pulled across the top of your screen.
Well, you know, I have the external webcam that you recommended.
Yes. Roll with me here, but it's being tugged along like someone's playing a trick on you. It's like literally moving.
It wants to just like constantly. It's like a dog who is being sly and doesn't want you to know it sees the hot dog you have, and it's just like, so that by the time I look back down, you know, it's like completely over. That's why I had all this stuff in shot that I didn't have in shot like 20 minutes ago. So,
hey, question for you here. Do you have? It's just a laptop, right?
I have just a laptop, but I have the external webcam that you recommended.
Yes, I'm going to
years ago.
I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind here on the screen.
Okay.
This is called the PlexiCam Mini. How cool is that name? The PlexiCam Mini. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. and I just got to show you what this thing does.
Oh
It's
man,
gonna
look
blow
at
your
you!
mind.
I love when you get
Gonna blow
geary.
your mind. All right,
Too
here we
late.
are, full screen. You have the PlexiCam, which is this thing here in the middle. It has plexiglass, which is why they call it the PlexiCam, that goes over your screen. So imagine this plastic piece goes over the top of your laptop. You can put your Brio webcam on the PlexiCam, and you can put it wherever you want over your screen. So you attach it to the PlexiCam, and for example, this lady here, this is a demo that they have. We're on a live stream. You could place the webcam right over the top. So now you are looking directly into the eyes of your viewers, as opposed to we're down here looking at the screen and you're looking at me and it looks weird as hell.
Yeah, because I'm constantly like between you to like read your facial expressions and
Yeah.
react to you, and then also my camera is on a external like pole essentially that's attached to my desk. It's not on my laptop. Okay, and it really looks like Wally from Wally. So I just kind of talk to Wally, and not to you. And then I look at you, and then I'm trying to get to the comments, and then it's just this. And the so it's just this distracting craziness. So you're like kind of giving me life here with essentially tricking my brain into thinking I'm having one-on-one conversation with the person I'm actually talking to instead of like just listening. Because what I've been doing is just like listening to you as if we're on the phone and then looking at Wally. And that's it. So this is a really cool gadget, man. JC says she needs this. She needs this in her life.
It's worth it. I mean, for people that don't have the full-blown setup, I mean, my setup is I got a whole teleprompter and all that kind of fancy stuff. And
oh my God. Your setup looks like you are live from a soap opera. Like, I really wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't some like fancily dressed family behind you discussing how the brother came back from their secret identity. Like it's just everything is soft and mood lighting, and I'm kind of frenetic back here. So let's talk setting a little bit. I thought what you said was driving you crazy was going to be something behind here, like the lamp or John Waters. Could be either one of those.
Well, the lamp, you can see the arm in the lamp. So for starters,
sometimes I try and sit higher. Like that. So I like block it out, or I try and adjust the tweak of it.
Just the lamp itself, the arm.
Yeah.
The thing that's up here in your left. What is that? The black arm thing. Other left. Sorry.
This one right here.
No, that lamp is good.
Okay.
I like the little light in the background. That's kind of my shtick. I got a little light back there as well.
Yes, stealing some lessons from interior design.
I think we can get you a light for the backdrop.
Is that the issue, people? People at home?
I would pull your curtain shut. We don't need to do it live, but what I would do is pull the curtain shut to eliminate all the wash of light that is coming in through the window, just to like dampen it a little bit.
Okay, I could turn off the ring light.
Ring light, you turn it on and off, it doesn't do a damn thing. That ring light isn't doing anything because you're getting so much white light, bright light.
Doesn't that though give me like ethereal voice?
It's too much.
Okay.
You're getting too much. You're getting blown out.
What if I floated down on wings? Would that help? Okay.
Yeah.
So a light behind me.
Yeah,
like a pendant light, or like another ring light, or like
like this little light right there, like that right there. That
this little light of mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it shine in the background.
That is. I actually have another. Oh, I'll throw it on the screen. Look at this. Here it is.
That's
the light I use. $70 on Amazon. Scan the QR code. It'll kick you over. The cool thing about this RG is you can put it back behind you on the desk. You can put it in that lamp potentially. I don't know how old the lamp is.
The bulb. It's a bulb.
This is a bulb. Yeah.
You're not talking about a lamp setup itself. This is just a bulb that's soft.
That's a little bulb. Yeah.
Look at that little bulb. It's so cute. So what you're saying is it's the issue is not the lamp or the way that it's really too tall for the space and the way the stem comes out of my head. The issue is the
That too,
quality.
yes.
The issue is the quality of the light bulb. So the lamp itself needs to just fuck off and die. Is that what I'm hearing?
You don't want the lamp coming out of your head. What you can do is you can add the nice light a little bit lower to give you this glow, the separation behind you and the crowdedness behind your desk. So the bulb,
photographer rules.
yeah, the bulb could sit on your desk and could provide a little bit splash of color or light on your bookshelf behind you, which is nice.
Okay.
So we can close the curtains. We could try the ring light. If the ring light doesn't work, then you want to get something that's a little bit more powerful. And if you're wondering what that is, I mean, we've got more products. We got the whole arc.
Oh my God. Roll that beautiful tech footage.
No. All right. So let me show you something real quick behind the scenes, if that's okay. So this is my behind the scenes here. Rebecca's muted, so we can't hear her, but this is my setup. This is a $10 IKEA lamp. It's a China ball from IKEA. It's $10. Look how much light this gives me in my space here for $10. So you can close your curtains, add a China ball thing. I think the whole setup was like $25 before you get into the real expensive stuff. When I say real expensive, I'm talking like $120. You're back.
That was bananas cool. That was bananas cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us see really behind the curtain, man.
Absolutely.
That was really, really neat. All right. Well, listen, we have talked about platforms. You've put the comments are like on fire with these QR codes and tech rollout, man. Like this was a great show already. We've talked about like all the complicated like differences of these platforms, the equipment, the gear, the lighting, how do I sound, repurposing content, all the things. Why do it? Because you get this like immense amount of content in advance that you can then repurpose. So we all get why we're team live stream. What makes a good show though, PK? We're here like, we got this like adorable audience of true fans, and personal friends. We're so glad, everybody's here. JC, Kathleen, Tony, Jilly. We're so happy to see folks. But like, I truly want to at some point come out of the zygote stage with the show and make it something that is good, because the perfectionist in me will not allow for C work. I have to come with a gold star and make something that like people actually really want to see, which is the most important thing. It's not really about my gold star. It's about that the gold star is a validation from people actually wanting to see and engage with the show. What makes a good show? I'm still on the struggle bus with content and like theme and approach and guests versus non-guests and solo shows, and am I punching down? Should I be more positive? Like all the shoulds that are just surrounding kind of the anxiety of starting something like this from scratch. What's good, PK?
What's good? I think you definitely need to obsess over the viewers. What type of information are they coming to the Stone Fruit Show for? And the only way to know that is by asking and evolving over time. So I think you need to have consistent time, which I think we're at. You're trying to go 9:30 Eastern, specific days, so people know when to show up and they can interact, ask questions. You can get a feel for what people want. And I think marketing what the content is going to be prior to the show. Like we talked about revamping your visibility with live stream. Have we talked about that in the 47 minutes we've been live? I don't know.
No. In fact, when you asked me, what are we doing here? It's about visibility. And I haven't said a dang thing. Jill is going to beat me with a wet noodle for not reinforcing the point of doing a show like this. So thanks for
Cheers
bringing
to
it
that.
up. Cheers to that.
Marketing ahead of time, scheduling ahead of time, and sticking to the topic. I know it's very easy in a live show to get caught up. Someone says something and you just kind of go with it, which is okay for certain portions of the show. But the more you do
That's
it,
my whole style, man. That's my whole vibe.
here we go. Tony has a good comment here.
I'm of the mind. Good show. Thank you, Tony. I'm of a mind. One of the characteristics of a good show is one that covers something an inch wide and a mile deep. I
Yeah.
love that, and that's really in my wheelhouse. So I don't know if this was an inch wide and a mile deep, or really just
Absolutely not. We've been a mile
Yeah.
wide. We've covered a bunch.
How could we have made this episode an inch wide and a mile deep?
We did some prep ahead of time, but I think if you give your guests talking points and you give them the sandbox that they're going to play in, like, hey, these are the three topics only that we're going to talk about. Please don't talk about anything else. Then you can kind of stay focused and go a mile deep on just that one or two topics.
Man, I'm going to push back a little bit and know that I recognize that I am not the expert in this chair by any means, but
Yeah.
I'm in such a defense of the unscripted, kind of natural. It's this like know what you're going to say ahead of time and have this like PowerPoint in your mind presentation. To me, those
Yeah.
are so obvious when I hear them. They seem canned. It's all a setup of like, well, how have you solved this problem? Well, for my clients, and it just becomes this kind of formulaic thing. So generally my approach when I'm guesting on a podcast or being part of an experience like this is to not hyper prepare, to just be myself and your own note was be yourself and have fun.
Right.
So like, how do you find the balance between being prepared and not having spontaneity and having spontaneity, or like some genuine interactions that are led by quality conversations led by curiosity? That's what I'm like seeking out. But see, here I am down another, rabbit hole already. So what's the balance?
I think the balance is just saying, hey, the broad topic we're going to talk about is gear and tech, not gear tech strategy, AI, philosophy, how to.
Why are you always hating on my fruit salad that just got started?
Smorgasbord.
So why is that awful for someone to engage with? Why is that not a good show?
Because if we are going to tell the viewers we are going live on Thursday at 9:30 talking about revamping your visibility, the gear and tech to do so, and we're here talking about strategies and why did I get into it, they don't care about that. They're coming to the show because they want to know the cool gear tech. Give me the tools to use. Tell me what tech to use. I'm out.
But you just said to listen to your audience, and the comments have been like, "Oh man, I love that topic. That's so cool." Like, what's that balance like?
You are ultimately the host, so it's your show. You can take it however you want, and it's going to evolve. Give the people what they want. If they like kind of the free flowing and off topic stuff, then see how that goes over the course of a few episodes. But if you kind of see your analytics of people not sticking around or for certain portions, then it's time to take a closer look at what can we do to keep viewers around. And I think that's staying on topic, picking a topic and really going niching down to it. I don't think that means telling your guest, hey, you can only say these certain things and your guest is going to be scripted at all. I mean, we can come on. I could have talked about this video gear tech stuff 5 miles deep for 5 hours straight.
Yeah, I'd see that.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this really homage to listening. I think that the most effective and innovative marketing tool ever invented is your ears, is listening. Your people are telling you what they want, so listen to that. I'm hearing from you, kind of experimentation and letting the proof is in the pudding with the numbers, as we say. Stop going so wide. Tony suggests that when he taught public speaking in undergrad, the approach used was spontaneous. Oh, extemporaneous. Oh boy, I know I'm stumbling over this word. Extemporaneous, extemporaneous speaking, knowing what you're going to talk about, but not what you're going to say. I think that's a great advice for some balance. So we never really got to the teeter totter of client acquisition and marketing, and by this rule, we'd want to save that for another episode. Do you agree?
I think so. I think that
Okay.
is. We wouldn't want to rush it. We've got about 5 minutes left, and we can't
Yeah.
talk about teeter totters in 5 minutes now.
We can't go a mile deep or five, whatever that is, with
Yeah.
just that. All right. Well, we have 5 minutes left. Excellent acknowledgement. What notes do you have for me in your experience today?
I think we can engage viewers and ask questions throughout, then take the questions at a specific time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think another element too, thinking about the life cycle of your content and repurposing it and where it's going to live. This show is going to be on YouTube for a long time. And imagine you pick up a big ass Harry Potter book. It's like 600 pages long. And you're like, oh, I remember Paul and Rebecca talked about this cool plexicam thing. What page was it on? And they got to thumb through the whole fucking book to find it. You can add YouTube chapters for your shows. So if previous guests, future guests, they say something really cool, you can add the timestamps and the chapters to your content so someone can find it. So I think that's something that you can start today. Once the video is done processing on YouTube, I can show you how to do the timestamps. That way people can go through the episode and find the content that they want to go snack on.
So the user experience is what I'm hearing from you over and over and over again. And by the user, meaning the audience at this point, which is truly marketing. True marketing is that consistent showing up. So I hope the next time we get together, PK, I am doing better at keeping us on task and not following every curiosity rabbit hole that I have, as if we were really on a live Zoom. So knowing that this video will last on YouTube for a really long time, as you said, tell the people at home where they can find you.
You can find me on LinkedIn. That is the best place to find me. I'm Paul King. Let me see if I can find a link on. This is a little behind the scenes at how easy Restream is. Let's try this. We'll add a lower third. There we go. You can find me on LinkedIn. That's my LinkedIn. Connect with me. I'd love to.
That is awesome. What kind of clients are you looking for? Who do you want to reach out to, or what should the Stone Fruit Roll-Up family and friends be thinking about you for?
I love creating story-driven content for mission-driven organizations such as nonprofits, associations, and higher ed, universities, colleges. I spent a lot of time there. So love connecting with them and helping them create powerful content.
That's awesome. If I were here with Paul King, he'd be coaching me to say, give him a call to action. So my call to action would be to go back through to go back to through the rest of our channel, rewatch some of these lives, get engaged, smash that like and subscribe button. You can find me also on LinkedIn under Stone Fruit or Rebecca Layton Gunter, Gunter, or at stonefruit.com, where we're pressing up the juicy marketing and believing in big, beautiful, and bold brands, just like you, PK, and King Productions. So thanks for putting all the energy you put into this, man. Your platform, the logo, the graphic, the advice. You're awesome. And I just thank you for our friendship.
My pleasure. Thanks for being a part of my life and having me come on and talk a little bit about video.
Dude, more to come for sure. Miles deep for sure. And Thanks at home to our live streaming audience. You guys made us feel like we weren't talking just to the void. So big ups.
Yeah, thank you. Take care all. Bye-bye now.